I pozdrav ljudi, nisam siguran da li nastavljamo gdje smo stali. Čudan mi je ovaj koncept. A da, tu smo se pošibali sa ekonomijom. Okej, ovaj šiba tamo nekog. Shadow Ekon mi je u svakom slučaju. Shadow Ekon je slabiji od Blood Ekona. Ho ho ho. Shadow Ekon je slabiji od Blood Ekona. Čekaj, pa zar onda to ne znači da i ja imam sposobnost da se umnožim onako kao senka? Okej, radije te ne bih provocira. Čitajte.
No match for me! You're feeble! You're bleeding! You're mine! Stupid newborn! You cannot win this! You're bleeding!
Good evening, Mr. Swanborough.
Is it you, Dr. Reid? Please come in.
What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
Okej,
What can I do for you, Doctor?
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
I hear them hissing and scratching at my door every night. The sick made mad by the fever. But these walls are thick, and my lock is solid.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reid. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me, and I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
Okej, njoj treba da damo ovo za pluća.
I found another page of the diary, Mr. Swanborough.
This diary is still not complete. The man who wrote it claims he is a member of some scholarly brotherhood called the St. Paul's Stole.
Really? I've heard of them. Very capable scientists. Perhaps the man who wrote this really found a cure.
I would need more pages to figure it out, but it's as promising as it is intriguing.
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough. I'll leave you now.
Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
Nije da bi... Okej. To je ti si. Ne?
Good evening, Mr. Swanborough.
Is he... What kind of gentleman pays visits to people at this late hour?
Jel to to?
Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Goodbye, Mr. Swanborough. I'll leave you now.
Tell me, how do you see the world these days?
Nešto propuštam, ali ne znam šta.
What kind of gentleman pays
It's locked, all right.
this late hour?
It's locked.
Nebitno. Okej. Where's Luis? Ovaj deo grada ne da nije sigurna zona, nego... Ja ne znam kako su ovi preživjeli svo ovo vrijeme. Znači kapija širom otvorena, napadi vampira, ekoni. Baš sve što ih je moglo savatati, savatalo ih je. I oni ništa, izlaze noću. Sve je okej.
There is something going on in this district. I don't know what. Like a secret or a plot I must reveal.
Malevolence and trickery. You are blinded by your...
Please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind. God, you just look the other way this week, so...
Kako ja da uđem sad unutra?
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu.
Surely you have someone else to bother, Mr. Doctor.
How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu? Do you need my help?
I would not even accept fresh water from you, Doctor. I don't need your help.
Yes, you do. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
I said I don't want anything. But I'll keep this for those who really need it.
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
Terrible, to say the least. Maybe now you understand the importance of Dorothea's work here. But you never cared, did you?
That's quite an accusation.
Stop pretending, Mr. Doctor. All you wanted was to confront Dorothea. You never intended to help Whitechapel's people.
There isn't just one way to help Whitechapel.
Your way seems to attract sorrow and despair, Mr. Doctor. Your kind of care is not what Whitechapel needs.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
I regret it too. I wish she'd continued working at the Pembroke Hospital. She was a good nurse.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. And then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
Yeah.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family.
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes, his manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said, politeness is the most acceptable hypocrisy.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute.
I do not...
Ok, to smo već čuli. Personal question.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Ok, znači kaj se što sam mi otvorio vrata.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
This city is doomed. Poor Dorothea.
You pay for peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out right. It's not my call, Baron. You pay one way or another. Please, Joe.
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Ste bothered.
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't cure melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I don't.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home, Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reid. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Have you any recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Nobody dares to enter the dispensary now. Rumours say the nurse has gone mad.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes. And he scolded me and told me to leave him alone. I guess my father frightens him too much.
But you are not responsible for your father's actions.
Am I not? Dad always says that he joined that gang for my safety. So if I wasn't born, people wouldn't be worrying about Colossus Joe.
Would it ease tensions with your father if he got an honest job? Because he tried, you know.
I can't say. I'd be glad if he dropped his thuggish activities. But I'm not sure it would be enough.
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reid. Or it's this life. It's like I can't find my place.
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
Okay.
It's locked, all right.
Okej, neki papir. O jebem majku. Wow, nisam ga vidio. Ok, sve moram da izlečim i definitivno ponovo na spavanje. I da prevogujem. Čekaj, su detalji. Ok, blood. Kaj nije neka velika razlika, tako da radije bi zadržao ovo, posebno zbog toga što mi daje blood. Kad smo već kod toga, krv posvuda. Šta bi još mogao ovdje? Treba mi box, kutija. Kutija bi trebalo da je negdje unutra. Ili se bar nadam da je negdje unutra. Ouch. Dakle, ima krvi posvuda, ali... Definitivno tu negdje. Okej, to mora biti gore negdje. Kanta? Ne. Ja mogu da idem još gore.
This could be the box Lewis. A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Joe, please, I don't have...
You again? What do you want this time?
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
How is the sanitary situation in Whitechapel?
I'm not easily scared, but crazy killers and armed patrols are lurking about. My son's right about this place.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Ok, ovo mu je sin, ovo mu je brat. Jel' tako? Ne, ovo mu je sin? Ne. Pogubio sam konce.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Okay.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Koga još imam da spasim u ovom jebenom gradu? A di si ti? Okej, ti si kod groblja. To jest na groblje. Ti. Znam kako da te nađem. Treba mi mapa. Ili si ovo, ili ovo.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I have no doubt it will. But I'm not against a second opinion, Dr. Reid.
Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Good evening, my
Loretta, your miraculous formula wouldn't even cure a common cold, and you know it.
The Swanborough's cordial secret ingredient is hope, Doctor. And it's something people around here really need.
A placebo effect is real and has benefit. But in your case, you could be murdering your customers who may die because they are not receiving the necessary medical attention.
Medical attention? In Whitechapel? Trust me, my cordial is the best option they have, since it is the only one.
If your true purpose was to help, you wouldn't take money from the poor for your snake oil.
Oh, but to pay for it is part of the process, Doctor. If it were free, they wouldn't believe in it.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
When people buy guns instead of medication, it means they have already traded hope for fear in their hearts. In my book, that's never a good thing, Doctor.
Okay.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
Čekaj, ona nije na groblju?
Good evening, Zhaoshun.
Wang Shanghao, Dr. Reid. It's good to see you again.
How do you feel? Physically speaking, I mean.
I don't feel good, Dr. Reid. Not at all.
You should recover quickly after taking this.
Thank you, Doctor.
How is the sanitary situation evolving in Whitechapel these days?
My only relief is that my Matthew died before seeing the madness that approaches. I'm afraid we won't survive this trial, Dr. Reid.
What are you doing with your time now that you're back in Whitechapel?
I've decided to help the poor and sick of the neighborhood by handing out medicine.
That's very charitable of you. But why do it at night?
I've noticed that the most desperate people tend to go out after dark. Hence my presence, to help them when I can.
Giving out medicine? How can you afford to do that?
I am a rich widow, Dr. Reid. My departed husband left me enough money to last the rest of my life. I can spend some on those who don't have any.
Why don't you move to a better neighborhood?
I thought about it, I confess. To go back to the same empty home every day still hurts me a lot.
Why stay here then?
I am a woman of habit, Dr. Reid. And for now, I am happier being useful in a familiar place than I would be anywhere else.
How do you feel now that you're back in Whitechapel?
I've decided to follow your advice, sir. I won't forget the dead, but my efforts will be for the living.
I've no doubt. That is a wise and useful attitude in this part of town.
To be completely honest with you, I am also doing this for myself. If I'm destined to survive this epidemic, I need my life to have some purpose.
Okay, imamo novi hint za nju. Ćemo mi dobiti i quest
Do you
od
still
nje.
think about your departed husband?
Of course I do. I'll never forget my beloved Matthew, but how do I put it? Now I miss him more than I want him back.
I know what you mean. And I think it means you're getting better.
Maybe death will take me the way it took Matthew, without warning and without mercy. But until then, I live on.
Okay.
Goodbye for now.
Okay, Stvarno, tebe još imam. Ok, tebe da izlečimo i...
All the good boys join the army and the scum turn criminal. It's a shame, really.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
On bi trebalo da je ovdje. Ako me sećanje dobro služi, on je tu. Da, umaj, brate. Tu si. Ok, ljudi, nadam se da ste uživali, mi ćemo nastaviti u sljedećoj epizodi. Vidimo se i
How are you,
ciao!
boy? I'm not your boy, alright? Now piss off!